Hi, my name is Hanayo Sachiyusu. I'm 28 and concerned about my intimately unfortunate strokes of bad luck. From when I was young, it would start to rain whenever I would try to go outside, and I would slip into tomorrow on banana peels on the street. On cue, a napping black cat screeches awake where I would sit down. Scream! I'm not the popo. Wherever I would go, bad luck was following close behind. And although it was rare to happen, other people got involved sometimes, and that was what scared me the most.
Are you alright, madam?
My husband Rio would be the safety net for such a woman who bites bullets for breakfast on the daily. For that particular instance with the cat, all he did was take care of my injuries. But even afterwards, right after I'd had a regular stroke of bad luck, I would meet him totally by coincidence. It was like something or someone always put him nearby to give me a sense of security in these unfortunate instances. Is this what they call destiny? After some time, we started dating, and after a couple happy years, we decided to get married after I accepted his proposal. Are you sure about this? I'm worried that I'm going to put you in danger with my strokes of bad luck.
Truthfully, I'm not a very lucky person either. But you do see these in manga, right? Multiplying two negative things together make it positive. Reversal engage!
Thank you. At the time, I couldn't help but wonder. I didn't understand what exactly made him think he was unlucky too. He had decent looks, he had a stable, well-paying job, he had a nice apartment. Everything seemed amazing, to be honest. But I eventually understood what he meant by that when I met his family.
I will not give you my blessing for marrying this girl.
This was the first time I visited his parents' home soon after we got engaged. Mrs. Okada was out on the porch as we pulled in. She seemed a woman of humble origins, but now retained a civilized atmosphere.
How could you say that? You haven't even met her properly yet!
At first, she seemed kind yet strict, charming yet distant. But even before I had the chance to greet her, she started to shout aggressively.
Reina told me everything about her, and it's all really bad news.
Reina, get out here, you! What the hell did you tell her? You better not have told her anything stupid.
Behind his mother stood his younger sister, Rosalina, smirking in my direction.
I only did a bit of digging around because I was concerned, Rio. You did tell me a bit about her, and that got me worried.
So you just decided that hiring a detective to spy on me and Hillary behind our backs was the best thing to do? Again? I thought I told you to stop all that bullshit!
Hiring a detective to look into her own brother? A horror movie at this point.
Oh, come now, have some heart, Rio dear. I think I did it for good, solid reasons. Mommy, do something. Rango's being mean to me.
You're the one to blame for all of this. Uncanny bad luck since birth. Rio as our firstborn son. You're going to eventually inherit our business, you know. Do you wish to bring about the downfall of your great-grandfather's legacy by marrying this woman, who's the living embodiment of misfortune?
All I could do was gawk and listen at Rio argue with his family. I now understood what he meant when he said he's also unlucky and that he was always hesitant about introducing me to his family. I mean, who would want someone to meet his sister who gets the law involved so quickly? And his mother who would dare insult someone she first met. He himself wanted them to accept that I was to be his wife, but perhaps he should have known better.
Enough! No matter what you two say, I'm going to marry Hillary!
You know that's not gonna happen. You're gonna marry me instead.
You're 25 and you're still saying that nonsense? You're making things worse, so zip it and stay quiet. For the sake of the business, too, you must marry a good woman from a good family. An incompetent lowlife like this couldn't possibly be entrusted with the whole business.
I'm not your freaking puppet! I decide my own life!
He grabbed my arm and ignored their objections as we left. I realized just how brave he was to stand up for me against his own family, and my heart did a little dance. Later, he apologized to me and said,
That's my family, unfortunately. But I want you as my bride. I don't intend to inherit the business, and those idiots who dare to say nasty things to the girl I love, I don't see them as family anymore.
The deity of unluckiness had been playing with me for far too long, and I knew too well that some things in this world were out of your control. In this manner, without ever getting his family's blessing, we became a married couple. 3 months later, although it would be a modest one, we decided to have a wedding. Just in case, we sent his parents an invitation, but what we got as an answer was an invitation ripped to confetti. And an extremely sappy love letter to Rio from his sister Rena.
What the hell is this?
She seemed so intent on marrying her own brother. I was in awe at how loose the screws were in her head. In the end, he gave up hope on his family attending the ceremony, but on the big day, a scandalous incident would occur. On that fateful day, we arrived to start the preparations. A staff woman led us to our rooms, but
Lupine?
the 2 dresses that I was to wear were completely destroyed. Nearby were a pair of scissors, perhaps the crime weapon, and a letter. Love your future wife? Lupin? Rio called his sister immediately.
Rena! What the hell have you done?
Rio, darling. Did you notice what I did? This is true love for sure.
You're the only one who would do something as atrocious as this!
I protected something precious, you see?
I think ruined is a much better word, yo!
Nope, that precious entity I protected was your pure heart. Wink.
Enough with the lupine shit!
So I guess the wedding's canceled, huh? Since the bride has nothing to wear.
The biggest day of our lives! Our friends are coming, you know. How do you propose to deal with that?
You needn't worry about the money, darling. Mom and Dad kindly said that they were going to pay for everything.
So they know about this?
Mom said it would bring shame and curses to our family if your marriage to that bitch became official. And she even prepared very sharp scissors for me, you see? Those blades cut through the wedding dress like a hot knife through butter. Japanette, Japanette, oh the Japanette, the dream.
They cheered you on in this freaking scandal? Frick your singing! It's making things worse!
No one wants you to marry that walking bundle of cursed energy. It's not too late to ask for Mom and Dad's forgiveness now. Divorce her already and come back home.
Oh my god, you can't get any stupider than this! You won't get a hug from me ever again!
You can't be serious. You're still gonna put up a fight? I thought we'd go on our honeymoon. I booked 2 months of traveling, you know. We were gonna go to Dubai, darling. You've been eager to go there, haven't you?
I don't care!
And then my phone started buzzing with notifications. Who could be contacting me?
You freaking bitch! Thanks to you, Rio darling hates me now. Enough about that. Please apologize for what you did to my dresses. My one day of glory, my whole life. This is inhumane. You're the one to blame stealing Rio away from me. Thank you so much for making me go on a 2-month honeymoon alone. I'll freaking bother you again once I get back. I will never let you take my Rio from me, you hear? Never!
The ceremony staff very kindly searched frantically to arrange for new wedding gowns, but their efforts were unfortunately in vain, and the wedding had to be cancelled. Our friends who were going to attend were kind enough to understand sympathetically when we explained what happened, and they even offered their matrimonial gifts nevertheless, along with words of congratulations and prayers for good fortune. My mother was crying, demanding why such misfortune had to happen. Her breaking down made me decide to ask Rio for another chance. I just want my parents to see me in my biggest moment. Please.
But of course, I can't apologize enough for my stupid family.
We consulted the ceremony staff and they managed to hold the venue on the most recent available date.
I should have broken ties with Mom and Rena years ago. I swear to you, I will never let my family know this time.
He was adamant on that point, but... Couldn't we persuade your parents to attend?
What? You still think that way after what they did to you?
I want them to see their son and make them so proud of him. You see, I want our child, who'll probably be born one day, to be celebrated by as many people as possible. Come to think of it, I haven't properly met your parents yet now, have I? If we go on like this, they'll just live under the impression that I really am a queen of misfortune, and if our child suffered collateral damage... You see where I'm going with this? Like I said, my biggest fear is that the people I care about suffer my unluckiness. That my own child was one such victim.
True. They don't seem like they're gonna stop with the harassment until we get divorced.
And Rena won't be in Japan for a while, right? I wonder if I can fix my relationship with your parents. I could see the reluctance in his face, but perhaps he saw the sense in what I was saying and contacted not his mother, but his father.
Dad wants to meet us. He apparently didn't know about the dress and about the invitation. He was shocked when he found out, and not happy at all.
Now that he mentions it, I'm certain that it was only Mrs. Okada and Rena present when I went to meet his family. Could it be that those against our marriage were only those two?
Mom will have a fit if we talk at home, so we're meeting at a coffee shop during a weekday. My father's treat, saying it's the least he can do to make up for what his wife and daughter have done. I'm terribly sorry about what happened.
Mr. Okada bowed his head deep upon seeing us.
To say that work has kept me so busy will sound like an excuse, but you must forgive me for waiting a while before we settle this. It seems that my wife and daughter have caused you great harm in the meantime. I'd heard that you wanted to marry a girl who didn't even want to meet us. I never dreamed Sachiko had sent you away. And I thought you knew about what they did. I thought you also supported Rena during the deed. I'm so sorry, my boy. I can't apologize enough for the ceremony. I'll settle this with my daughter myself. It's time she grows and becomes a proper adult, and not a shameful child like she is. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet me, Miss Hillary.
I was so relieved to find Mr. Okada a very kind, civilized man. And then I told him about my ideas. I believe that your wife has a very wrong impression of me because Rosalina told her stories that made her think that I was a terrible person.
After everything that's happened, impressions hold on to her for a long while. I tried convincing her into thinking otherwise, but I don't know what to do anymore. She's steadfast on believing what she heard first. What's so heartbreaking, my dear, is that Rena couldn't have been any further from the truth.
I clenched my fist and said, "Do you object to me living with you for a while?"
What?
My gut told me to leave Mrs. Okada to rot in her bullshit. Sure, she was going to be my mother-in-law one way or another, but you can't blame me for hating her a little. However, if I didn't try to fix things, who knows when Rio's life would become fraught with danger. This is our happiness we're talking about after all, and I'm going to protect it. I'll do the housework, and if you'll allow it, sir, I will also work for your business. If Mrs. Okada says that she only believes the initial impressions of people, I would like to burn the image of my true self in her mind. And if that ends up in vain as well, I will give up on getting her blessing.
Are you sure about this? Your burdens, they will be monstrous.
I'm used to unluckiness, so this is just normal for me. Don't worry.
Rio, son, you've got yourself a keeper right here, my boy. I know.
And we rolled under their roof starting that very day.
Gah! Why is that creature of discord under our roof?
She'll be living with us for 1 month, dear.
What?
Thank you for having me.
Get the hell out!
And so began the battle of housework that would decide the outcome of the world. Observe her and know what housework she does throughout the day. Ah, I see she's doing the vacuuming. I'm going to help.
Get out of the way, peasant!
So she won't let me help that easily. Well, I'm not done just yet.
Whoa, spicy. If you can't eat what we like here, get the hell out!
Mom, this isn't how we like our cooking done, you know. And I thought you hated making things spicy.
Shut up!
I'm not giving in. While I'm being harassed by my mother-in-law, I also have work to do for my father-in-law's business. And I was offering my support in areas that weren't going too shabby. The business was just about to go bankrupt at one point, but Mr. Okada's business skills brought it back flourishing. Although the company is doing so much better than it was 10 years ago. Its organizational paradigm was absolutely chaotic. Everyone is so busy that they'd even yearn a cat's paw if it could somehow be useful.
Miss Hillary, would you mind delivering this to accounting?
Of course. Please organize these documents. You can count on me.
Miss Hillary, I'd like to copy something.
I'm sorry, but machinery malfunctions wherever I go, so I'm afraid that's out of the question. Superstitious, I know, but in work like this, I have to be cautious 24/7. My experiences thus far in life have shown me what I can and can't do, and I never made any big mistakes, and so I'm happy to know I'm some help, even if it's small to some people.
Yeah. You're not even really doing any real work, are you?
Oh, Madame Okada, what a surprise!
Hey!
What brings you here? Perhaps you've come to see your son's wife?
No, I haven't. Who gives a shit about?
Pardon? You're not on friendly terms, but she's such a sweet girl. Such a hard worker, too.
A sweet girl? Hard worker?
How scandalous! Begging your pardon, madam, but she isn't a bringer of chaos, or anything else by any means. I've never met someone so helpful. She does even the smallest favor without the slightest hint of spite. You must be proud of your son to find such a wonderful girl to be his wife.
She's helping the company?
No trouble whatsoever. I would say she's saving the company instead.
Amen to that. I want my son to marry someone like that, madam.
And what wonderful cooking is waiting for me today? Boiled guano with deep-fried maggots? Hang on.
Delicious. I made it. Of course it's delicious.
This is so tasty.
Well, I wouldn't be completely against showing you if you want to know how to cook this.
Yes, please. This is the best fish I've ever had. I have no idea what caused this, but since that day, Mrs. Okada's attitude towards me became much softer, and she started to teach me things to cook. She even started to show me baby pictures of Rio from time to time. And 1 month came and went. Madam, Rango and I are having a small wedding again, only for our closest friends and relatives. Will you accept my invitation?
I'll think about it.
When she officially got my written invitation, she put it in the drawer with the most important of documents. The distance between us should have become much closer by now after a month. All that was left to do was to hope that the ceremony would go smoothly. I'd cocooned myself in a new dress and was in the waiting room. And that's when both of my in-laws arrived wearing formal clothing. Oh, Mother, thank you so much!
Come on now. You have something to give her, right?
Huh? Mrs. Okada, in an unsettling manner, rummaged through her purse, brought out a small box, opened the lid, and extended her arm towards me. What's this?
A ring we'd prepared when Rango was born. I was keeping it safe to give to the girl who would one day become his wife.
This is for me?
I'm sorry for misjudging you, dear.
Thank you so much! I accepted the ring and put it on my right pinky. Finally, both of my in-laws had given their blessing. I knew my plan would make her see me for who I truly am. Sure, I may have some of the unluckiest strokes from time to time, but that doesn't mean I only bring chaos and evil. I'm only human after all. The wedding started with a blissful atmosphere. However, an incident would happen yet again.
I freaking object!
I heard the back door of the hall slam open, and lo and behold, there stood Rena, in a battle stance wearing clothes wildly unfitting for a wedding.
And what have you been doing in my absence, you freaking whore? I'll rip that dress of yours to shreds again!
And right at that moment, when the malicious Rena came straight at me, she cracked her knuckles and Rio rushed to stand between me and her. And then it happened.
Stop this at once, you stupid girl!
Mom! What are you doing here?
I was so stupid to believe your goddamn lies. Hillary is a wonderful girl and she's marrying into our family. We're so lucky to finally have a useful woman in the house, and over my dead body you will get any closer.
Her mother, whom she thought was her partner in arms here, put herself between Rena and I. Beside Rio. The girl went into panic mode and I could actually see the beads of sweat forming on her forehead.
Oh, what are you talking about, Mom? A whore like that married Rio, darling. She'll become the wife of the CEO later on, you know? Already, Hillary has proven to be more important to your father's business than you ever will. Unlike you, running off wild without a care in the world, she did all the organizing work, and boy oh boy did she transform everything. The hell you mean, bringer of chaos? The one worthy of that dirty, shameful title is you, Rena.
No way!
I held you in high regard because you're my loving daughter. But what with the dresses? What with lying to your mother so that you could prevent your own brother Rio from marrying the woman he loves? You will never be forgiven, you hear me? You're going to move out and learn what it's like living alone.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. You're choosing that bitch over me?
Without hesitation!
No!
You've really done us some service here at this fine establishment before, my dear lady. Right this way, madam, and we will negotiate the damage compensation that we will demand you. In case you're wondering, the pieces you destroyed are among the exquisite of ours.
Hey! Wait a sec. Mom? Dad? Rio, darling? Help me!
Now, let's get on with the wedding. I'm so sorry, Hillary, dear. That girl's always been one can short of a six-pack. There was an incident, but with the protection of our friends and family, the wedding came to a wonderful close with us vowing to love each other for all eternity. Later on, the establishment demanded a large sum of damage compensation from Rena. She was sent away from home, and now she's working to make enough to pay things like rent and assorted bills, stuff she's never had to pay for before. And apparently she's struggling. As for Miss Okada, she kindly apologized to me once more when the wedding was over and told me I was welcome anytime, if I decided not to stay at her home. I think I'm going to spend some time alone with Rio for some time first, but I definitely want to live with them permanently one day. By the way, I had only planned on working for Mr. Okada's company for a month, but many of my colleagues enthusiastically wished me to continue working, and now I work there full time. And Rio, what with me working in his father's business, is now becoming more motivated to inherit it for the future. His father also happens to be a good teacher, because it seems Rio is becoming more and more confident with each passing day.
I really don't see any bad luck with you, dear.
2 minuses make a plus, right?
For real.
Now a new life is growing within me. I know everything will be okay no matter how many strokes of bad luck I get. I will never give in to despair, and I will do my best to make me and my family the happiest in the world.